Welcome to Monetizing Purpose, where we pursue purpose, earning a living, doing what we love, with the people that we love. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you are having a great year and that you are enjoying the pursuit and the fulfillment of the resolutions that you have. Today I want us to talk about something very important. Here in South Africa, we are about to get the matric results. And something very tragic happened last week. I was chatting to a friend of mine and she tells me of how her cousin committed suicide. Her cousin committed suicide. Now, the reason for him committing the suicide was because a girl blocked her on social media and she wanted to break up with him. Just imagine a young man with a bright future giving up his whole future, giving up the dreams and the desires he has just for a girl. You know, I don't want to use this word, but for the lack of a better word, the biggest mistakes that we make in life is that we think that anything is permanent. We think that the relationships we have are permanent. We think that the people that we've got relationships with are permanent and they will be with us for the rest of our lives. But if you are going to have that mindset and that attitude, you and I are going to be hurt. You know, nothing is permanent in life. Nothing is permanent in life. I love what Les Brown said. Les Brown said that I believe in the box to one theory. In other words, he said that I came alone on this earth. I was naked and I was crying. And in the same way that I came on this earth alone, I am going to live alone and naked. You know, the biggest mistake that young man made was his identity. He defined himself, he defined who he was, and he defined his future with a girl. There's nothing wrong with being in love or falling in love. But there's everything wrong with you defining yourself based on your relationship. No relationship is permanent in life. The husband that you have might die tomorrow. What happens? What's going to happen when that happens? The wife that you have today might die tomorrow. What's going to happen when that happens? Are you then going to say that the woman that I fell in love with or the woman that I committed to spending the rest of my life with her is no more? Therefore, now I want to kill myself or I want to die. No, you can't do that. Nothing in life is permanent. No relationship in life is permanent. Yes, the relationships we have in our lives, they make our lives better. They enhance the quality of life and living that we experience. But our lives should not be over. Should not be over. And there are a few things that my friend said that I needed to talk about as I use this example for it to form part of motivation. He said, number one, the biggest mistake that my cousin did was that he forgot where he comes from. You and I come from different backgrounds. And the different types of backgrounds that we come from, they have created for us situations that might be easy for us. And sometimes some of the backgrounds that we come from, they've created situations that make life hard for us. Or rather that they make situations and life worth living with the challenges that we have to overcome. That young man forgot who he was. Instead of using his background as motivation, instead of looking at the circumstances that he found himself with and made motivation out of that, he took a permanent decision on a temporary situation. Number one, don't define yourself, who you are and your worth on other people. People will change. People might love you today and they stop loving you tomorrow. Don't define who you are. Don't define your future. Don't define your destiny based on the people that you have around you and you have in your life. Nothing is permanent in life. No relationship is permanent in life. If the husband that you have or the wife that you have cheats on you and you decide to call it quits, if you define yourself on that relationship, if you define yourself and your future and your wealth based on that relationship, when that relationship dies, you die, or you end, or you cease to see the meaning of your existence. So we are saying, number one, never forget who you are. Don't forget who you are. You are who you are because of where you've come from. You are who you are because of what you've conquered, what you've endured. That makes you who you are. And no matter who you let into your life, no matter the relationships that you allow to come into your life, never ever give up who you are because of someone else. Never forget who you are. Number two, we are saying don't forget where you come from. Never forget where you come from. Never, never ever. Don't let the future that you want to be in, don't let the future that you envision having in your life get you to forget where you come from. We come from different backgrounds. We come from different family backgrounds. We've got different parents who have got different desires and hopes for us. But never ever in your life forget where you come from. No, I remember a story that's been told. I heard this story from one student who told me that many years ago, when he was still at university, there was this guy who was very popular, and he was known by everyone and everywhere. Now his problem was that he always forgot where he comes from. Now, because he always forgot where he comes from, he used to give people the impression that he comes from a well-off or a rich background. So he would tell people about how rich he was, how rich his family was, and he would dress accordingly. He would behave accordingly, and he would spend his financial resources accordingly. And the biggest mistake that he made was that when he was forgetting where he comes from, he also forgot the parents who gave him life. So whenever he would get money, or whenever he would achieve any success of any sort or whatsoever, he would not take some money and take it home to help the mother and the father and the children at home and his siblings at home. What he would do is to continue with the lifestyle that he had gotten people used to him saying that he lives. And tragically, one day one of his parents died, and the whole school had to organize a trip to go and support him and his family in the funeral. Now what happened is that when they went to the funeral, one of the students asked and said, hey, my friend or my classmate, why are we having the funeral in this big house? Why is the funeral in this big double-story house that you told us that it is yours, but we see the tent in a house with a shack? And he told them that no, because we are so rich and powerful in this community, our neighbors decided to lend us the space in their home so that we could pitch the tent here in their home. And that's the story that he told them. But what he forgot was that the community never forgot. So after the funeral proceedings were done and they were at home washing their hands and having some lunch, one of the students asked one of the community members, he said to them, you've got a very nice community background here. You lended our friend a house for him and his family to bury their loved ones. And with shock, the community member said, no, that's not what happened. The house that you see the funeral in, it's his own. That shack that you see there, it's his own parents' home. The lies that he has been telling you are nothing but lies. He forgot where he come from. Never forget where you come from. Never forget the background that you come from. Don't see the background that you come from as a hindrance towards the success that you are pursuing. Never look down on the background that you come from. The background that you come from is there to give you a history of where you come from. In fact, I love what Bill Gates said. Bill Gates said that if you are born poor, that is not your fault. But if you die poor, young man, young woman, that is your fault. Don't forget the background that you come from. No matter the circumstances that you find yourself in, never ever forget where you come from. You are who you are because of where you come from. You are the man or the woman that you are because of the background that you come from. You are driven the way you are driven because of the background that you come from. You are driven and inspired and hungry the way you are hungry because of the poverty and the background that you come from. Never despise where you come from. Never ever get too caught up trying to please anyone that you start lying or you start giving up where you come from and what has made you. We said, number one, don't forget who you are. Number two, we said, don't forget where you come from. And number three, watch the identity. Hey, who you say you are, be careful of that. Be careful of who you say you are. You know, sometimes we get too caught up with the way that people see us. We get caught up with what people say we are. And we forget. They're our own identities about ourselves. You know, I remember when I saw and understood the power of an identity. I remember the first nickname that I gave myself, King Abby. I gave myself the word King Abby, or I saw myself as a king. I saw myself as a conqueror. I saw myself conquering and ruling any and every obstacle or challenge that comes my way. I saw myself as a king and I called myself accordingly. I saw myself as a conqueror. Who do you see yourself as? Who do you see yourself as? It's not important what other people see you as. It's not important how other people define you. The most important definition is your own. Who do you define yourself as? Do you say that you are a failure because of the mistakes that you made? Do you define yourself as a nobody because of what you failed to achieve and do? No. Who you define yourself, who you see yourself as, will determine the kind of a future that you have. See yourself as a conqueror. You know, when I called myself King Abby, I saw myself conquering, going into challenges and thriving, coming out of any opportunity that I was going into a conqueror. That's why I called myself King Abby. The next nickname I gave myself was Prof E. Prof E, because I saw myself as an educational powerhouse. I saw myself as an intellect. I saw myself as a man who was highly educated. And therefore, I called myself a professor. In other words, the future that I wanted to be in, the future that I saw myself having, I called myself accordingly. There is power in what you say. There is power in what you say. The Bible teaches us that there is power in the tongue. What we say with our tongues will determine the future that we have. Who do you say that you are? Who do you see yourself as? Who do you see yourself becoming? Never ever let the circumstances that you find yourself in make you see yourself as less than you are capable of being. No. Don't make that mistake. Don't ever make that mistake. Don't define yourself according to where you come from. Don't define yourself based on the mistakes that you've made. Don't define yourself on the challenges that you had to encounter. And maybe some of those challenges, they might have knocked you, given you a shot and that knocked off your teeth. Don't ever define yourself on what you've been through and what you have encountered. We said, number one, always remember who you are. Number two, always remember where you come from. Number three, always remember or watch the identity that you give yourself. Hey, an identity, it's very powerful. It can shape who you are, and also it can destroy who you are. You know, the difference between an alcoholic and someone who drinks, hey, it's a big difference. Someone who sees themselves as an alcoholic and they define themselves as an alcoholic or a drug addict or a junkie, someone who sees themselves as that, and someone who fell off the bandwagon or someone who once drank, it's not the same people. Someone who sees themselves and they identify themselves as an alcoholic, they will live their lives in accordance to who they define themselves as. They will live their lives to keep up with that definition that they've given themselves. A person who calls and identifies an alcoholic will do whatever it costs, will do whatever it takes to show you that they are an alcoholic. But someone who occasionally drinks, sometimes they can choose not to drink and they can choose to drink. The way that these two people identify themselves is different. So watch out. Watch out for the identity that you give yourself. And number 4, remember that nothing is permanent in life. We said that nothing is permanent in life. The relationships that we find are not permanent. The failure that you find yourself in, those situations that have knocked your teeth out, those challenges that you might have failed to conquer, those problems that you failed to succeed, those problems that you failed to solve, they are not permanent in life. You know, King Solomon said something very powerful. He said that nothing is permanent in life. There is a time for reaping. There is a time for joy. There is a time for sorrow. Everything has got its own time, whether it be success or failure. And no matter the season that you find yourself in today, never, ever, ever hold yourself prisoner based on the season that you find yourself in currently in your life. Nothing is permanent in life. Nothing is permanent in life. And you know what's tragic? You know, and this is what I always say and I remind my friends. You know, the biggest mistake in life is that if you define yourself according to a relationship that you have with someone, if when someone decides that they no longer want to be with you romantically, if someone chooses to no longer be romantically involved with you, and you make a permanent decision on that temporary situation, and you decide to kill yourself, and I know how harsh this might sound, but do you know what that person is doing after they've broken up? You know, what would surprise you or what could shock you is that they might have broken up with you, and this moment where you are beating yourself up, this moment when you're considering suicide, when you're considering taking your own life, the person who just broke up with you could be with someone else at that moment. While you're contemplating taking pills or whatever it is, making that permanent decision based on that temporary situation, that person who broke up with you might be enjoying themselves with someone else. And how tragic would it be? You know what's funny? What's funny is that that person, that ex, that girlfriend that you kill yourself for, would have even forgotten about you. Maybe they are even having sexual relations with someone else. And they are enjoying the rush of hormones that they are feeling at that particular moment. What you've done is that you've taken a temporary situation and you've made a permanent life decision on. Don't make that mistake. No matter how you love someone, no matter how you value a relationship with someone, never, 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 ever, never, ever in your life, don't ever define yourself. Don't ever make a permanent decision based on a temporary decision with a temporary person. You know, everyone in our lives, there are seasons. There are seasons to the times that people come into our life. Sometimes when we are having good success, sometimes when we are having whatever it is that we need, people come into our lives. They come and they become our friends, they become our girlfriends, they become our boyfriends, they become our husbands, and they become our wives. But as time goes by and as the seasons go by, someone might decide that no. At this season of my life, at this time in my life, I no longer see myself with this person. I want to move on with my life. And there's nothing wrong with a season coming to an end. Like I said, nothing is permanent in life. When a season comes to an end, don't let it be the end of your life. And as you, the young ones, the current matriculants that are available now or are currently awaiting their results, I want to encourage you. Even failure is not permanent in life. Failure is not permanent in life. You can fail and get back up again. I love what Les Brown said. He said, When life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get back up. As we are awaiting the results, as you are awaiting the academic results for the matric 2022, if it happens that you might have had sleep, if it happens that you might have had failed a subject or two, if it happens that you did not achieve the results that you wanted to achieve, there is no shame in going back to school. There is no shame in trying once again. There is no shame in failure. Don't ever give up on yourself. People might give up on you. People might give up on who they think or they saw you as. But don't ever give up on yourself. Don't ever give up on your future. Yes, it might happen that you might fail. But do not take your life based on the failure that you have encountered at this season of your life. There will be a time for you to try again. Go and upgrade the results that you have. Go and repeat that particular model if it happens that you fail. If your husband or wife decides to file for a divorce, yes, that's going to hurt. That's going to be painful. But don't end your life. You are worth more than a relationship with your husband. You are worth more than a relationship with your wife. You are worth more than a relationship with your girlfriend. Your life is valuable. There is a purpose for your life. There is a purpose for your existence. Don't take your life prematurely because someone else no longer sees the value that you bring in their life. Someone might no longer see the value that you bring in life. But there is a purpose for your life. When God created you, when God gave you this opportunity to be alive at this season, at this time, at this age, He had a purpose for your life. Pursue your purpose. Discover your purpose and monetize your purpose. You know, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough to know that there is a purpose for your life. You must intentionally pursue your purpose. Intentionally pursue your purpose. Just because there is a purpose for your life does not mean that your purpose will automatically be fulfilled. Because there is a purpose for your life, it gives you reasons to pursue your purpose. Pursue your purpose. After you've gotten on an intentional path to pursue your purpose. Number 2, monetize your purpose. Monetize your purpose, my friend. Monetize your purpose. You can't eat rounds of applause. You can't pay your bills with thank yous. And you definitely cannot make memories with your loved ones, with the God bless yous that people give you. You discover your purpose. You intentionally pursue your purpose. And number 3, monetize your purpose. As you look at the future that you want to have, as you look at the man or woman that you want to become, we said number 1, never forget who you are. Number 2, never forget where you come from. Number 3, look at the identity that you give yourself. Number 4, remember that nothing is permanent in life. And number 5, there is a purpose for your life. There is a purpose for your existence. God didn't create you because He was bored. He created you because there is a problem, there is a need in the times that we are in that can only be fulfilled by you. There is a need for your existence. There is a need for your talent. There is a need for your skill sets. There is a need for the voice that you bring. There is a need for who you are. There is a gap that will be there if you don't pursue and fulfill your purpose. If you don't give us the talent that you have, if you don't give us the gifts that you have, tomorrow we might starve. Tomorrow we might lack. We might lack a doctor because you chose not to pursue your purpose. And as I conclude, I want to leave you with what Myles Munroe always said. Myles Munroe said that the richest place in the whole of earth, the richest place on this planet is in the graveyard. You know, the richest place is the graveyard because there in the graveyards, there lies books that were never written. There in the graveyard lies songs that were never sung. There in the graveyard lies music that was never played. Music that was never sung. There in the graveyard lies businesses that were never started. There in the graveyard lies doctors, engineers, actuaries, economists, business owners that never manifested who they are. Don't die. Don't die with the talent that you have. Don't die with your purpose. Don't die with your gifts and your talents. Whatever situations that you find yourself in, whatever challenges that you find yourself in, whichever problems that you find yourself facing in your own life, nothing is permanent in life. Nothing is permanent in life. No relationship is permanent in life. Don't ever make the mistake of defining yourself and seeing yourself the way that other people see you. You are more than a conqueror. You are worth it. You are worth to pursue whatever dreams that you have. Whatever desire you have in your life, pursue your dreams. Pursue your dreams. Don't go to the grave with your dreams. Refuse to be a statistic. Refuse to be a statistic. Pursue your dreams. Pursue your dreams with everything you have. Go after your dreams with everything you have. Don't let any situation, don't let a breakup, don't let a failure stop you from being who you are. Pursue whatever desire that it is that you have. Pursue your dreams with everything you have. And if you do that, my friend, I promise you, I will see you at the top. I will see you next time, my friend, here on Monetizing Purpose, where we pursue purpose, earning a living, doing what we love, with the people we love. Thank you for tuning in, my friend. I will see you next time.